2 days after tragedy strikes a well-known Virginia family, State Senator Creed Deeds is still recovering at the University of Virginia Emergency Center. Police are still investigating his stabbing and the death of his son.
And now there are calls for another investigation, this one into Virginia's mental health procedures, after reports that his son, Gus Deeds, may have had difficulty getting treatment. We have more details on today's Rockbridge Report. Hello and welcome to the Rockbridge Report. I am Athena Howell.
And I'm Sarah Jean Vallon. CNN reports that Governor Bob McDonnell has asked for an investigation into why State Senator Creed Deeds' son was released from emergency custody. Several news organizations are reporting Gus Deeds was released by the Rockbridge Area Community Services Board the day before he stabbed his father and shot himself to death in Bath County. Hospitals in Stanton, Harrisonburg, and Charlottesville all confirmed that they had bed space available for psychiatric patients Monday. Area residents, meanwhile, are struggling with the tragedy that affected a family many know well. Police are still aren't saying what kind of altercation apparently led Gus Deeds to stab his father, State Senator Creed Deeds, and then shoot himself to death Tuesday. But a timeline of events from the incident is becoming clear. Sarah Koroshev has the story.
7:25 Tuesday, Virginia State Police troopers and Bath County Sheriff's deputies responded to a 911 call at a residence at 26 Vineyard Drive in the community of Millboro, which is in Bath County.
There had been a domestic situation at the home of Senator Creed Deeds. It appears that it was around the barn, which is right next to the house.
Senator Deeds, his wife, and his son Austin C. Deeds, known as Gus, lived in the home. But according to state police, only Deeds and his son were home at the time of the incident.
Upon arriving, they found Mr. Deeds had suffered numerous stab wounds to his torso and his face area.
Deeds was able to leave the scene of the incident on foot. He walked down the hill of his driveway about 75 yards towards Route 42 and encountered his cousin who lives nearby and was driving along the highway. Deeds' cousin saw him in distress, stopped, and picked him up. The two then drove in this direction towards the cousin's home.
Then they made the call to 911.
Police and emergency responders came to the cousin's home to attend to Deeds' wounds.
Senator Deeds was then transported by ambulance to a nearby relative's farm where Carillion Lifeguard 12, which is out of Rockbridge County, was able to land and then transport the injured senator to the University of Virginia Medical Center in Charlottesville for treatment.
Police then went to the senator's residence. Gus Deeds was found inside the home suffering from life-threatening injuries from a gunshot wound.
Despite the troopers and first responders' efforts, he did die at the scene.
His body was taken to the office of the medical examiner in Roanoke for an autopsy and examination. State and Bath County police blocked off the entrance to Senator Deeds' home where the incident occurred.
We had to tape off the crime scene. It is a large crime scene, and it's going to take a while to gather all the evidence and work the investigation.
Geller says the motive and exact circumstances surrounding the incident are still under investigation.
But based on the evidence we have right now, we are looking into this as an attempted murder and suicide.
Police have said both a firearm and other weapon were recovered from the scene of the incident. They have not said what caliber firearm or what type of stabbing weapon was used.
There's a lot of forensic evidence that has to be collected from the scene, ballistics evidence that has to be analyzed and tested through the state lab. So there's still a lot of work to be done.
We have mainly our Bureau of Criminal Investigation, Virginia State Police, and Bath County Sheriff's Department jointly working this investigation.
For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Sarah Koroshev.
Senator Deeds was in critical condition Tuesday morning, but his status has since been upgraded. The senator is listed in good condition as of Tuesday. The Deeds family requested that news outlets do not contact them in this tough time. Many Lexington locals have been struggling with the news of Senator Creed Deeds' stabbing since Tuesday. Lexington Mayor Mimi Elrod said Creed has always been a hometown boy. He is so loved and respected by so many people. Elrod said the community does not have any plans for vigils at this time.
Glasgow's only bank closed in August and town residents are still angry. The BB&T building on Route 130 now sits vacant and is up for sale. Many older residents say this is the first time they remember the town not having a bank. Town officials say they have no plans to bring a new bank to Glasgow. The nearest bank for the town's 1,100 residents is 6 miles away in Natural Bridge. The nearest BB&T branch is now in Buena Vista, about 10 miles away. Rockbridge County officials might offer tax breaks to boost tourism in Rafine and Natural Bridge. Reporter Neil Haggerty has more.
The county's Community Development Office hopes to create zones in Rafine and Natural Bridge that will lure businesses that cater to tourists. New and existing tourist centers, sporting goods stores, restaurants, hotels, and motels would get 50% rebates on their business license taxes and building and zoning permits.
The idea is to help somebody get started, and hopefully in 5 years they're going to be successful and won't need that kind of re-energization into the project.
New businesses would need to invest at least $500,000 and add 10 new jobs to qualify for the incentives. Existing businesses would need to invest $250,000 and add 5 new jobs. White's Travel Center owner Bobby Bergstresser has a plan for an artisan center in the Rafine zone to attract Interstate 81 travelers.
From Virginia foods, Virginia wines, whatever it is, this would be your stop for a Made in Virginia.
Krickenberger says the business license tax break could save the Artisan Center about $10,000 a year. Bergstresser thinks his center will attract tourists to the other businesses in Rafine.
And the thing the Artisan Center will do, it'll make everybody's business better. The more you have going on at that exit, the better everybody does.
Krickenberger said about 45,000 vehicles travel down the Interstate 81 stretch near Rafine every day. He said the Artisan Center could make Rafine a gateway for Rockbridge area tourism. And as the Natural Bridge goes up for auction, Krickenberger says he thinks a tourism zone there could bring the right buyer.
It's a really cool area and neat buildings, but they really need some investment in them.
Local tourism director Jean Clark says tourism has been flat since 2009. She hopes new development will turn things around.
I'm ready for it to start peaking a little bit.
For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Neil Haggerty.
The plan still has to get the okay from the Rockbridge County supervisors. The board will hold a public hearing for the tourist zone in December. After nearly 9 months and without fanfare, the Nelson Street Bridge in Lexington reopened late Tuesday. A decaying old structure was removed to make way for the new span. The work was finished almost a month earlier than officials had projected. Drivers and pedestrians who had gotten used to a detour on Washington Street are using Nelson Street again. The city is planning an opening ceremony called Rock the Bridge for December 7th.
The 50th anniversary of President John F. Kennedy's assassination is coming up, and the events are still remembered by people all over the country. CNN's Ed Lavandera has the story.
To honor the 50th anniversary of President Kennedy's death, President Obama and the First Lady laid a wreath at his gravesite in Arlington National Cemetery, joined by former President and Mrs. Clinton. 50 years later, the eternal flame still burns. Meanwhile, in Dallas, curious tourists still come to this place, the place where those fatal shots were fired half a century ago. For this city, tomorrow will be a delicate balancing act of honoring Kennedy's memory without sensationalizing his murder.
The city, in general, was highly embarrassed and ashamed. But what made it even worse, the city was branded unfairly as a city of hate.
Dallas has spent decades trying to shake off the reputation as the city that killed Kennedy, which is not easy, as that dark day of history is rehashed daily by trolley tours.
But look up on this corner right here, up to the 6th floor window.
And by those who don't believe that Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone, conspiracy theorists sell JFK memorabilia and tell their version of what happened every day.
It's an embarrassment to the city, and well, it should be. But, you know, the city didn't kill the president. Somebody else did, and it wasn't Lee Harvey Oswald.
What will not be present tomorrow? Those X's that for years have marked the spot on Elm Street where the president was shot. The city says it's relaying asphalt to level out the streets and remove any trip hazards. But undeniably, all eyes will be back on this city tomorrow. Generations have passed, but the fascination with what happened here remains.
It changed the course of history in many ways. What would have happened if Kennedy had lived?
Ed Lavendera, CNN, Dallas.
Reporter Frank Diaz spoke to retired Washington Lee professor John Jennings about what was going on in the Rockbridge area during the time of Kennedy's assassination.
People tended to view the events of the next few days in groups. It was a way of finding comfort in being around other people in our own immediate environment, but also a way to feel connected to what was going on in Dallas and in Washington, and to feel connected to all of the other people in the country watching the same thing at the same time we were. And indeed, it was a time that the country needed to feel that things were coming together, because there had been some feelings of division in the country. And that was part of the president's trip to Dallas, was to heal some of the ill feeling that had developed in Texas toward him.
Jennings said that the country had to do its own healing after the weekend's events. Even today, there are competing conspiracy theories involving the assassination.
A cost estimate for a new Waddell Elementary School building in Lexington is $1.6 million higher than the city's projected $10 million. But city officials say that number will come down as they revised plans for the school. Superintendent Dan Lyons says the estimates should be final by January. Officials hope to break ground next summer. Financing for the project still needs City Council approval.
Next up, we'll have your important Thanksgiving weekend forecast. And we will take you to central Illinois, where the cleanup is really just beginning after a devastating tornado outbreak.
NFC, AFC, offensive linemen, defensive tackles, quarterbacks, and cornerbacks are all living united to ensure the academic success of millions of kids in our communities all the way to graduation day. But that won't happen without you. So take the pledge at unitedway.org. Make a difference in the life of a child. Suit up like your favorite NFL players and become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor with United Way.
Did you know kids who play outdoors have healthier lungs?
Totally.
Did you know that boys that play with dolls make better husbands?
My son has lots of dolls. But did you know terry cloth diapers breathe better?
I did.
It's totally true.
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys know statistically friendly kids have more friends?
Yeah.
That's obvious.
Did you know most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right seat. Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat to make sure your child is protected.
Kids will spend 15 minutes watching online videos like this one.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes twice a day. They have the time.
Ever wonder what makes us, the Smurfs, so happy? The forest, of course. This is where we, along with the beautiful forest creatures, make our home with beautiful plant life, clean water.
10, 9, 8, 7.
To find a forest near you.
2 outs with a runner on first base. Now the big guy comes up to bat, hitting .342 with 92 RBIs and 36 homers. The first pitch is out, he's back to
Chill raw and prepared foods promptly. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
A Liberty University campus police officer shot and killed a male student Tuesday. Joshua Hathaway of Lubbock, Texas, was shot after the school says he assaulted a campus security officer with a hammer. The officer involved was not identified. The incident took place at a female-only residence hall shortly before 4:15 a.m. Tuesday morning. The Lynchburg Police Department is currently investigating the incident. Small towns all over the Midwest are still cleaning up after last weekend's massive tornado outbreak. But for some, the challenges remain monumental, including getting power restored. CNN's Selin Sarfati reports.
The long road to recovery has begun across the Midwest after a string of deadly tornadoes left a path of destruction. At least 8 people lost their lives in the storms, and in hard-hit Washington, Illinois, some 400 homes have been destroyed or severely damaged.
All day I said, it's just going to rain, you know, it's going to be fine. And it's not.
Chris Lancaster shot this video of the approaching tornado in Washington and kept shooting as it hit his house. Afterwards, he barely recognized it.
This is my bedroom, right here.
His wife says she lost her dream home.
I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. All I can do is just stand here and look at it.
A family in New Minden, Illinois, lost 2 elderly family members when a tornado leveled their farm. Those who survived are devastated.
I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to take it day by day. I'm so thankful I have my boys.
Crews are working to restore power to nearly 300,000 homes in Michigan, Illinois, and Indiana. Illinois Governor Pat Quinn toured the damage Monday and tried to give words of comfort to those who lost everything.
It's important that we keep our spirit up. We are the people of Illinois. We're good and true. No matter where you live in our state, we're all in this together.
Thanksgiving will be tough for some of those families in the Midwest, but some families say they're just happy that they survived. Our Kenzie Grant is here with your Thanksgiving weekend forecast.
Thank you, Athena. Rockbridge will be experiencing some chilly temperatures, but more on that soon. Right now, it's a chilly 48 degrees in Rockbridge, and we had an overcast sky for most of the day. Although our low of 43 degrees did feel pretty cool, it was extremely warmer than the record of 15 degrees set back in 1968. The rest of Western Virginia is experiencing conditions similar to those here in Rockbridge. Everyone from Stan to Roanoke is feeling temperatures in the high 40s and cloudy skies. After looking at our radar, though, we found that those cloudy skies won't be bringing much rain with them, as there's just about nothing headed our way. Although most of Western Virginia has experienced a relatively heavy cloud cover for most of the afternoon, we shouldn't need those umbrellas on this Thursday evening. Now, according to our 5-day forecast, tomorrow won't be too cold, but the weekend will bring increasingly chilly temperatures, with the high on Sunday only reaching about 34 degrees. Moving closer to Thanksgiving, we'll continue with those cold temperatures, and we may even see a little snowfall on Wednesday. So be sure to bring your jacket to any Thanksgiving celebrations. Thank you, Athena and Sarah Jean. Back to you.
Thanks, Kinsey. It looks like it's going to be a chilly Thanksgiving.
Coming up, we'll tell you about a new environmental trend that's hitting Rockbridge County.
So what you want to do is, have you already enrolled? You're doing fine.
What did that just do?
Select the drop-down menu again.
Wait.
So you're already enrolled. Example here, so don't panic. You're ready to make your payment. Submit. There it is.
Oh my God! I really can't believe it. That's awesome.
Good for you.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Don't look at me. Your hair's a bit frizzy today. Oh, you should pick that up. Oh, you're such a dork. Loser. Here, let me help you with that. Oops.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Oh, look. Your crush is looking at you. Poor you.
They want to help, but don't know how.
See, no one here's gonna help you, because no one
Teach
likes
your
you.
kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
Every book is an adventure waiting to come to life. Visit new worlds. Encounter new friends. And discover the power of reading. Go to read.gov to read A Princess of Mars, the first novel to feature John Carter. A new world awaits. Read.
One of the newer trends in environmental awareness, natural burial, could be coming to the Rockbridge area. Janie Fugate has the story.
As the baby boomers age, people are beginning to look at eco-friendly alternatives to conventional cemeteries. Local grocery store manager Hunter Mooring is planning to start a green cemetery on her property outside Lexington.
It just seems like a real good use of the earth itself. It seems to me that it would meet the needs of the community.
Green cemeteries don't have paved paths or gravestones. They are meadows and forest areas left in their natural state where bodies are buried without being embalmed. Local environmentalist Kitty Sachs is working with Mooring to bring the green burial movement to the Rockbridge area. The nearest natural cemeteries are in Roanoke and Harrisonburg.
I think it is the way of the future. It's a natural progression.
Natural burials are more economical than traditional burials and use less fossil fuel than cremation.
It takes less effort and a lot less money to kind of, handle your end-of-life process in a more environmentally, responsible way.
Sachs is working with local woodworker Philip Welch to develop prototypes for a biodegradable coffin and shrouding board.
And the idea is that once in the ground, the body will decompose as quickly as possible.
Sachs believes people will be receptive to this simple style of burial.
For people that are just, quietly ready to move on to the next stage, I think it'll fly.
For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Janie Fugate.
800 to 1,400 bodies can be buried in 1 acre of a natural cemetery over time. So as conventional cemeteries fill up, green burials could attract more and more attention. Lexington residents looking for fresh produce for their Thanksgiving dinners only have one more chance to visit the Lexington Farmers Market before it closes Wednesday. The market runs annually until November and sells locally produced fruits, vegetables, meats, and baked goods. All of the food sold at the market is produced without synthetic fertilizer and is grown sustainably. The weekly market will open again this April.
Stay tuned to find out what's happening with your local sports teams.
All right, give me a spot. You know my motto, safety first.
They could be dangerous. I think we should call animal control.
Animal control?
To be safe.
Don't worry. I got this. It's a new motto.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
I think someone at my friend's school has this thing called autism. My friend's brother's son has autism. My neighbor's son has autism. My son has autism.
Autism is getting closer to home. Today, 1 in 88 children is diagnosed with autism. That's a 1,000% increase in the last 40 years. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
You know what, guys?
9,
There's a lot of tree
8,
branches and dry
7,
brush over here.
6.
We should probably move the bonfire over there.
guessing Smokey liked that idea.
This is one amazing truffula tree. Can you imagine a place where these grow everywhere? Yes, it's called the forest, a magical place to enjoy with your family. Ooh. So discover the forest and explore all the wonder that's there. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
With Black Friday looming around the corner, stores are preparing for the crowds of shoppers to start rolling in. A Deloitte 2013 holiday shopping survey says that the internet will be the #1 shopping destination for this holiday season. In spite of this growing trend in online shopping, local retailers remain confident about their holiday sales. This may be because 66% of shoppers also said they plan to shop in their local towns as well.
Now, let's turn our attention to Bella, who's going to tell us what's happening in local sports. Bella, where can we find our local teams?
Well, after losing to Ferrum College by 5 points last Friday, Washington and Lee men's basketball team beat Southern Virginia University Saturday with a final score of 192. The team will travel to North Carolina this Saturday to play Guilford College. Virginia Military Institute also put up a win over Bridgewater College last night. Freshman QJ Peterson scored 38 points, leading the Keydets to a 112-86 victory. High school basketball season begins tonight for Rockbridge County High School. The boys' varsity basketball team will play Buffalo Gap High School at 7 p.m. Even though Perry McClure High School is still in season, the boys' varsity basketball team will round up a few of its players for this Friday's game against Eastern Mennonite High School. The Fighting Blues will play at Eastern Mennonite at 6 p.m. Washington and Lee's women's basketball team is hoping to even out its record this weekend. The Generals, who are currently 1-2, will play at Methodist University Saturday at 2 p.m. Southern Virginia University women's basketball plays in the Great Ships Classic this weekend in Newport News. The Lady Knights face Bennett College on Friday, followed by Penn State Fayette on Saturday. That's all for sports.
Thanks, Bella. Best of luck to all our local teams.
As the holiday season approaches, local law enforcement says the best way to stay safe is to use common sense. First Sergeant of Lexington Police, Mark Riley, gives these tips to protect yourself from a home break-in if you go away for the holidays. Riley says to lock your doors and windows so that robbers don't have easy access. Take valuable items like laptops and tablets with you when you leave. Tell friends or neighbors you're going away so they can pick up your mail, newspapers, cluttering your front porch. Signal to robbers that you haven't been home for days, and contact your local police department. They will do safety checks of your home for you. Thanksgiving break is coming up and plenty of students will be out of school over the next few days. Washington and Lee's last day is this Friday, the 22nd, and will resume on Monday, December 2nd. Rockbridge area schools start their vacation in the middle of next week. Both Rockbridge County High School and Perry McClure High School ends class on Wednesday, the 27th, and will resume on Monday, December 2nd. We hope everyone has a safe and happy Thanksgiving this year.
That's all for tonight. Thanks for joining us. Stay tuned as our reporters interview Washington Lee University's Director of Public Safety and Sam Krickenberger with Community Development.
And don't forget to visit us on the web.